sharing this most of the memorial time for us. He's the founder and president and CEO of Vanquish Worldwide, which is located here in Blount County. Vanquish provides transportation and logistics services to government and commercial clients across the world. Our speaker today is Mr. Eric Barton. He's also spent 11 years in the United States Marine Corps and enlisted in Mustang Officer and Captain, as an enlisted Mustang Officer and Captain. He served as National Intelligence Senior Analyst for the Combined Joint Task Force, Horn of Africa National Intelligence Cell. Mr. Barton holds a master's degree in divinity and spent time as an Army chaplain after his Marine service. In addition to Vanquish Worldwide, Eric has 15 other operating companies. One is Front Range Training, which has trained thousands of law enforcement and Department of Defense personnel since 2003. Finally, during our dark times after Ferguson, Missouri, and Baltimore, Maryland, while others were throwing stones and cascading all police officers, Mr. Barton stepped up and not one denounced those activists, but what he did, he stood up and held an honoring service to commend and thank the first responders and especially of law enforcement officers, not only here locally but across the country. But he took time out of his schedule. Certainly it's our high honor and indeed our pleasure to have him here with us. And please join me in a warm welcome for Mr. Eric Barton.
His name was James Henry Clemens. His title, police officer. The jurisdiction, Maryville, Tennessee. On August 25th, 1911, 115 years ago. While out one day trying to make an arrest for an assault, he was shot and killed. Other officers shot in the line of duty include 67-year-old Barton Coker of the Maryville Police Department, 33-year-old Fred Guffey, and 43-year-old William Johnson Hunt, both from Alcoa. 2 motorcycle crashes took the lives of 31-year-old Timothy Joe Hunt of Alcoa and 29-year-old John Michael Callahan of Maryville. Blount County Sheriff's Deputy William D. Knuckles' life was taken as a result of a car crash at the age of 47. These stories have a tragically familiar ring to them. Over the last year, our country has mourned the loss of far too many law enforcement officers who were intentionally targeted and brutally gunned down by career criminals. But our 7 officers, each of whom fell in the line of duty, have a unique distinction. They were our protectors. They still are our guardians. They served our community and protected our families. On average, one law enforcement officer is killed in the line of duty somewhere in the United States every 61 hours. Since the first known line of duty death in 1791, more than 20,000 U.S. law enforcement officers have made the ultimate sacrifice. To put that in perspective, the city of Maryville's population is 28,000. Alcoa has just under 9,000. According to preliminary data compiled by the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, 124 law enforcement officers died in the line of duty in 2015, of which 4 were from Tennessee. It is a privilege to take part in this important annual observance, and it's an honor to be among so many dedicated public servants, essential partners, and proud members of Blount County's law enforcement community. I'm grateful for this chance to join in lifting up the achievements and commemorating the profound sacrifices of 7 of America's finest. And I'm humbled to stand with so many of the brave men and women who are following in their footsteps, continuing their important work and risking their own lives every day to keep our citizens safe. I can think of no truer definition of hero. We often hear the term thin blue line. As I researched the full meaning of the thin blue line, I learned it is a symbol used by law enforcement originating in the United Kingdom to commemorate fallen law enforcement officers and to symbolize the relationship of law enforcement in the community as the protectors of fellow civilians from the bad guys. Each stripe on the emblem represents certain respective figures. The blue center line represents law enforcement. The top black stripe represents the public, while the bottom line represents the criminals. The idea behind the graphic is that law enforcement, the blue line, is what stands between the violence and the victimization by criminals of our Blount County citizens. So essentially there are 3 meanings. The thin blue line represents the thin line police officers walk daily between life and death. The thin blue line represents the police officer's role of separating the good from the bad, while at the same time creating order from chaos. And finally, the thin blue line on black is a memorial or a connection or even a memory between officers killed in the line of duty and those who continue their duties in the present. As we pay tribute to the fallen, let us lift up their memories and pledge ourselves anew to their important work. My business, Vanquish Worldwide, along with its subsidiary, Front Range Training and Consulting, which is a company providing training to law enforcement throughout the nation, are proud to donate $1,000 in memory of each of our fallen heroes to the Fraternal Order of Police, Bud Allison Memorial, Lodge Number 9. On behalf of their families, friends, and law enforcement officers, we are honored to provide a check for $7,000 to our local FOP. These funds will be designated to be used for officers injured in the line of duty. On behalf of my family, our employees, the citizens of Blount County and Alcoa and Maryville, I want to thank the police chiefs, the sheriff, and most importantly, our local heroes, the police officers. Thank you so much. God bless each of you.